Well, Democratic lawmakers attempted to storm the Department of Education in Washington this morning, but were denied entry into the building. The stunt comes as President Trump is considering abolishing the department. Watch.
We're coming in. We're coming in. We're coming in. Don't lock the door. We're coming in. Who are you?
You're not coming in. Do you have business here?
Yes.
I am Secretary.
What do you do here?
What do you do here?
Get out of the way.
Were you told to stand here?
There's no business purpose to be here, so that's why.
Why would there not be? Why would there not be?
There's no business purpose.
There are no thieves and thugs out here. Are they prepared to shoot us? This is going to go out in history. The man who blocked the doors of the Department of, hold your face up so they can see you. Department of Education.
We are not a threat to security. We're members of Congress.
This is an outrage.
So what are you going to do? You're going to beat us up if we go in?
Oh, those members of Congress earning their salary as usual. This is Outnumbered, everyone. Welcome. I'm Emily Campagno, and joining me today is Martha McCallum, anchor and executive editor of The Story and co-anchor of Fox News election coverage. Cheryl Casoni, Fox Business anchor and host of American Dream Home on Fox Business. Dr. Nicole Saphier, Fox News contributor and board-certified physician. And Griff Jenkins, Fox News national correspondent. Griff, an exciting morning, but I think the excitement was pretty contained to the Democrat Party that pretty much accomplished nothing other than showing us that they want to do stunts for a living.
Well, that's not true, Emily. Maxine Waters proved she can't open a door. And, I didn't have storming the Department of Education on my bingo card today. The backstory for context, like 50 to 80 Democrats led by Congressman Mark Takano, a Democrat, and sent a letter yesterday to the acting Secretary of Education saying, we want a meeting. They didn't get a response, and so they decided to show up and storm the door. A little bit out of polite form, I would say. But at the end of the day, it's certainly an incident that shows that the Democrats were reaching a certain level of sort of desperation between holding press conferences, attacking everything that President Trump and this administration is trying to do, to now trying to put the focus. And I feel bad for that poor staffer that Maxine Waters is saying, let the history show this man won't let me in. Come on, give me a break.
Yeah, Martha, my question also is, where was the storming of the DOE when we started learning how abysmal test scores are, how poorly educated our children are? Where's the outrage over the actual product of our school systems? We can pop up on the screen exactly those numbers, right? That's why we're looking to overhaul the Department of Education. Math scores here for 4th and 8th grade, you guys, down 4 and 8 points from 2019 to last year, respectively. And reading scores for those same grades down 5 points.
Well, it's a great question. One thing we definitely learned this morning and have learned this week is that Maxine Waters loves to go places and yell at people very loudly. I'm not sure what has been accomplished by that. Remember when she said to go to restaurants and get in people's faces? Anyone who worked for the Trump administration, that's what she wanted people to do. That was her goal. Go yell in their faces. So that's what she's doing. But that being said, the Department of Education was created in 1980. Its focus was to make sure that kids on the lower end of the education spectrum caught up, okay? The gap is now wider than it was in 1980, and we saw what happened during COVID. So they've received a huge F on their report card. They have literally failed at their mission, which was to improve the education level of America's students. And Betsy DeVos wrote today, she tried to fix it for 4 years. She said the bureaucracy is so deeply entrenched, it's never going to happen. And frankly, American students will be better off without it.
Because isn't that the point, Doctor? The point of the DOE was to improve and ensure quality education. So if that has failed, then why shouldn't the Democrats be open to an overhaul that puts at its center, instead of the bureaucracy, actually students' performance? The more money we've pumped in, the more abysmal the test scores and performance has been on the student level. I don't quite know what they want to protect here.
Well, I think we saw with the 2024 election that Democrats will not move off of their talking points because they don't want to admit that they were wrong. Maxine Waters is not the only one who's been yelling. Remember, there were parents in 2020 and 2021 going to school board meetings, and they were yelling as well. They were saying, actually, our children's education is getting worse. They were labeled domestic terrorists. And now it is irresponsible for us to say that all of these test scores are just because of what happened during COVID. Yes, we saw the chronic absenteeism. Yes, the remote learning. And And yes, we are going to play catch up from that for years to come. But the widening of the performance gap, which Martha was just mentioning, that happened before COVID, that we were starting to see that widening from the highest to lowest performers starting in 2013, really widened in 2018. And one of the things that we have to call into question was that's when you started seeing some of the curriculum changes to insert some of those social issues, the CRT, and a lot of the race-based curricula. All of a sudden, they went away from focusing on the fundamentals, the reading, the math, and the science, and they're talking more about social issues. So we have to get away from this. I understand, I mean, President Trump campaigned on he was getting rid of the DOE, or at least he was going to look into it and shake it up, which he's been promising to do. There's no surprise this is happening. And shame on them for saying we shouldn't be doing something for the DOE. They have failed our children miserably.
Yeah, remember the CDC years ago came out, and the subsequent media around it, the titles were, "The kids are not okay."
Yeah, well, I mean, to Martha's point, and to your point as well, the bottom rung of those kids that are underperforming, it has gotten worse during COVID. Where were all of those lawmakers during COVID when all of the parents were, being called, you're right, domestic terrorists? But look, the money that we're spending at the DOE is the whole point of why the Trump administration wants to change this. Look, send it back to the states. I mean, these salaries are coming at the state level. That is the truth. Somebody you know very well, Randy Weingarten. She's making $500,000. Teachers don't make that. Let the states dig in and fix their own education problems. And by the way, they were given, Nicole, you mentioned the COVID pandemic, they were given $190 billion. That was allocated to them by Congress to get kids caught up after the pandemic because they had fallen so behind. And it hasn't happened. So it's a morass, it's a waste of money. And this goes to the broader picture of what we're seeing in the U.S. government. The DOE is a perfect example of why things need to change. And that report card, I think, needs to be looked at over and over and thrown in the faces of these Democratic lawmakers, which look ridiculous today. This is if that's all they have, I'm actually sad for them, and I'm sad for my Democratic friends. If this is how you think you're going to fix things, this isn't the way.
Can I just add to that? Because I think you put your finger on something important. That is, Randy Weingarten is long been the head of the American Federation of Teachers, the most powerful Democrat-leaning teachers union. So the storming of the building, these lawmakers all upset, that's because something is threatened. What's threatened? The slush fund going to the teachers union that has made them so all-powerful. But where was the accountability to blame them for the original failures that Martha brought up?
Do you remember that Randy Weingarten actually traveled to Ukraine to help them make sure that they can recover from the pandemic and the warfare in their educational systems? Yet here we are in the United States, and it's been a complete failure for the American children. But yet she was being flown, probably on taxpayer dollars, for her role to teach other countries how to have a robust education system.
We haven't even talked about the universities, guys. I mean, the Department of Education also. Look at what's happened to the nation's universities since October 7th and these protests that have happened. All of that under this department's purview.
It's not results-oriented. They're not based on results that they get. And so there's no accountability whatsoever, and parents should be outraged, and they should be happy to toss this apple cart right over and see if we can have a better result.
Yeah. When I was in middle school, so 100 years ago, I was part of the Richmond Unified School District where it went bankrupt. So halfway through the school year, all of a sudden, we were going to go home and not have the rest of the year. Now, obviously, that crisis was averted, but we had to switch to the West Contra Costa Unified School District because all the loans were under RUSD, and so to even get any more money, we had to switch names. I mean, the labyrinth goes back decades and decades, and it's under that bureaucratic bloat. For anything to change for the betterment of children, indeed, the apple cart has to be
and give
tossed over.
parents control over their tax dollars. We spend more per student than most developed nations around the world, but we're not getting the results.
And President Trump just signed an executive order for that, for school choice.